Good afternoon, YouTube. Back with Fishing with Spiv here. I'm gonna go do some fly fishing for some stocked trout here at Fort Kearny. It's a beautiful, beautiful fall afternoon. It's Friday, October 29th, something along those lines. And just gonna get to it. I'm gonna strap you to my chest and we will go catch some fish. Got one. Looks like it's a bluegill or a green sunfish. Got that one on a kind of a topwater dry fly. It's stuck in the weeds now. See if we can get him out of here. Good one. Just on this little mosquito dry fly. Good, healthy fish. Very good looking fish. Kind of girthy for a bluegill. Drop him back in here. There it goes. Got one. Another bluegill, I think. I'm not getting the trout that I came for. I'm pretty sure the trout are out in the middle of the lake. I can kind of see them rising out there. It's a lot farther than I can cast, so just kind of working my way around some areas where I've had success before, and then I'll inch over there and see if any of them are coming in close enough to shore that I can get to them. Oh, there's a trout. Got him. No, he came off. Dang it, guys. First trout of the day, but I lost him. A bluegill. This one's right in the middle, I think, of the last two sizes. Just kind of a, kind of a nice medium-sized bluegill. This one actually I think is a like pure bluegill. Here we go. Well, haven't landed a trout yet, but doing pretty well on the bluegill in this spot. I'm seeing them out just, 15 feet from the bank or something like that, just kind of hovering around. Get this guy back in. Got something. Just another decent bluegill. I've actually been seeing some trout around this spot, so I'm gonna just try and get this hook out and get this guy back in the water fast. If I can do it without him spining me too bad. Alright, here he goes. There's a trout. See if I can land this one. You just a little guy. Pretty though. Alright. Here he is. My first trout out of this lake in quite a while. Awesome. Actually accomplished what we set out to here today. So I guess I can stop and kind of explain what I'm doing. So what I'm doing with this fly rod, for people who aren't familiar with it, the reason why you use a fly rod and a fly line is to be able to cast a fly lure successfully. So I'm just throwing these little flies, and so it's just this little tiny, like, you know, number 8 or 10 hook or something like that with some hair on it, basically, that looks like a fly. And if you try and cast that with your bait caster, it's not going to go very well, or a spinning reel for that matter. So what you do is you put it on a leader and you tie that leader to this fly line, which the line itself is heavy. And so I'm in a spot right now where I don't really actually have an angle to back cast. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of roll casting. So I'm just kind of flipping it out there like that. You get a ton of distance on that one, but if I kind of get my line back here, so I get my rod back behind me, I flip it out like that. So that's the cast I've been doing when I've got these trees behind me and I can't do kind of that big back and forth casting motion that you see fly fishermen do, that I prefer to do when I have room. So I'm casting it out. I'm using a dry fly, which is supposed to float on the surface. I've been using this one for, you know, an hour and a half or something like that, and it is no longer floating because it's just gotten kind of saturated with water. You can fix that a little bit by kind of blowing out the hair on it just to kind of dry it out, so it's got more surface area that's not saturated by water to sit on the water's surface without kind of breaking the surface tension of the water. But as you can see, I'm just kind of letting it sit out there, and then every so often I'll kind of give it a little retrieve. Sometimes you just constantly retrieve it. Sometimes you kind of retrieve it a little bit and then give it pauses, and kind of like bass fishing, you just kind of vary your retrieve. But it's kind of been the deal. And then once you see your line start jumping or you feel a tug, so it's a lot like fishing with like a weightless Senko, where you're really just kind of watching your line, and as soon as you see your line dash off, that's when you kind of lean into it. You don't need a big hook set with these tiny hooks, so you really just kind of lean into it and reel them in from there. So that's the deal. Here we go. Like 2 casts later. That one actually, instead of roll casting, because I actually can't roll cast with this up in front of me, I just kind of was flipping it kind of side to side, so my line's out here over the water. Flipped it up over that kind of lay down over there. This guy came up and popped it off of the surface because it was actually floating. This is my smallest bluegill of the day, and he's back. So this is the cast I was using with that guy. So instead of being able to like cast back behind myself, I have to cast in front of myself like this, just because that is the angle I have access to, basically, without getting my hooks caught on every single tree around me. Another one. This one feels like a better bluegill. Flip. Oh, man, that was a freaking girthy one to flip up here. I thought I was gonna break my line. Dude, this is a freaking huge bluegill. Look at that thing in my hand. I got pretty good sized hands. His jaw's all messed up from being caught before, I think. Oops. I think he's gonna flop all the way down in there. Another trout. There's a bunch of them right where I caught this guy. Hopefully I can get some kind of back-to-back catches here. Oh, that guy came off my hook. Perfect. Now I don't have to mess with it. Pretty little rainbow trout. Look at that. Okay. Just slide them in over here. Ooh, better trout, I think. Ooh. Oh! Did you guys see that jump? Oh, he freaking broke my hook off. Oh, that sucks. That was a fun little fight though for a second and a half. A decent bluegill on here. See if I can flip him up over this. Oh. All right. Wow, another pretty large bluegill, honestly. Not as big as some that I've caught today, but I need the pliers to get the hook out of this guy. It's way down there. Trout. This one's a little longer. Tiny bit longer maybe. Cool. Another trout. Got him. Hook came out. How does the hook always come out of these? I mean, I don't mind now that I got him up on the ground, but just another one about like the rest. Here goes. The trout. In he goes. Ooh, that's some good jumps off of that guy. This is one of the bigger ones I got so far. Probably the biggest one I've landed. This guy's probably more like 13 inches instead of like 8. If I was keeping fish, this would be one to hang on to. But I'm not. I'm just gonna let this guy go. Here you go, buddy. Got another trout, guys. We just barely got the skin on his mouth here. All right, here we go. Itty bitty trout. Here we go. Oh, and he's down. If I'd have been keeping him, I'd definitely be at or very close to my limit by now. Which I think is 15. I have close to 15. I don't know what the limit is. I think it's 10 or 15. Got one. And I was actually just getting ready to move spots, so I'll actually fight this one with my reel for once. Alright, let's see if I can lift him out of here. Alright. Alright. So I'm going to move spots a little bit. I'm getting close to where it's time for me to leave. My pickup's over there. So I'm going to just work my way around. Hopefully catch a few more on my way back to the pickup, and we'll see what happens. Another, oh, just missed another trout. How we doing?
We had so much fun we can't hardly stand.
Yeah.
But we're using wax worms instead of the fly.
Oh, yeah.
I fished with fly rod all summer. I'm worn out on it. I don't want to get it back out. Well,
ooh, this one feels pretty good.
around over there, you get bluegill.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun too sometimes.
Yeah, I got some pretty good bluegill today.
I caught one yesterday.
Really?
Right there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get any trout in there yesterday.
Huh.
They weren't working on the top like they are today.
Well, there seems to be a few of them in there right now.
What are you using? A little beadhead nip or something?
Yep, that's the deal. I was throwing a dry fly around and I got a couple on it, but
Yeah.
the nymph has been every third or fourth cast, it seems like, so
That's a little bit bigger one too.
yeah, this one's not bad. If I was keeping
I caught one that was every bit of 14.
yeah,
Biggest one I've caught this year.
yeah. Another one. All right, another good one. Yeah, this is another better looking one. Look at that thing shine in the sun. Here we go. All right, accidentally caught a fish again. All right. I might go for one more just because they're biting like every 2 seconds right now. Then it's gonna be time to get out of here. One more trout, I meant. Not one more bluegill. Okay. So I'm probably not going to show you all of the catches, or if I do, it'll be kind of like a montage. But got, I don't know, probably 40 fish today. Tons of bluegill early, and then mostly for this last hour and a half, I've just been catching trout like every 5th cast or so. It seems like almost every cast in this little spot. So I'll let that guy go. So anyway, yeah, it's I think I said at the beginning, but it's October 29th. It's a Friday afternoon. I took off of work, and if you haven't gone out to catch some of the stock trout yet, I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend doing it with a fly rod. It's a very effective way to catch them, and it is a very fun way to catch them. I like it a lot more than just throwing like a rooster tail or, you know, worms or power bait or whatever else you want for options. I think it's just super fun. It is not nearly as fun as catching trout in like Wyoming in a river or like a mountain stream or brook, but hey, this is a 10-minute drive from my house, so can't complain. Well, I'm gonna sign off on that. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.